once again to the Sticky Wicket podcast. This is the weekly cricket show about the wonderful world of international cricket by four fans of the game who just like having a yarn. This week on the show we're going to be starting off with the news from yesterday that Joe Root was finally announced the new England Test captain. We're going to be talking a little bit about what to expect from him and what his going to be main goals in the job. We're also going to be talking about the fact that his lieutenant is going to be Ben Stokes, who was also named vice captain yesterday. We'll then go on to talk about the England tour to the West Indies that's upcoming for the ODI tour. David Willey has just been injured and out of the squad. We'll then have a quiz from Cheese. We'll then discuss the South Africa against New Zealand series that starts down under on Friday, follow up by some news coming today out of the Pakistan Super League, and finally a couple of rule changes to finish with. So we'll start with the most obvious news. I think I'll come to you first, Ed. Joe Root is captain. What can we expect from him as the New England captain?
Well, I think it was pretty obvious. It was always going to be him all along, I think, and I think we've got the nucleus of a good team. We've got hopefully somebody who's going to be a bit more probably spontaneous and maybe a little bit more. Just a little bit more about him than Cook. You know, when he bought himself on. And he's got that little bit more about him in that sense, I think, than Cook. So yeah, we've got potential. We're certainly not the best team in the world at the moment. But yeah, the right choice. I think he's the best batter in the team along with Cook.
Yeah.
And he'll have the respect of everybody. And I think all the players will buy into what he wants to do. And I think he'll be a good captain, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's actually perfect timing for him. I think there seems to have been some people coming out and questioning the fact that he doesn't have much experience being captain. I think he's done 4 first-class games, which is fair enough, but there doesn't seem to be... It's impossible nowadays to become your Test captain if you're a world-class player to have had much experience captaining a first-class side. And he's played 53 Test matches. He's a world-class player. He's a good reader of the game, a good thinker of the game, so I think certainly timing-wise it's absolutely right. What do you guys make of it from a down under perspective? I know he sort of falls into the mode again of what we've got in other parts of the world with a Kohli and a sort of a Steve Smith Williamson type.
Well, I think a lot's been made of that, Joe. Obviously, every single paper you read talks about the four gun batters in the world now, all being captains of their respective teams, which I think is positive. I think going on to what Ed was saying, which is probably an interesting thing for Root. Now, I'm not sure whether he has any experience in the underage of captaining. I imagine he probably did.
The 19s.
I imagine he probably would have back in the day.
I think so.
But I mean, he's not that much different in age really to Cook, but he is that sort of bridge into the T20 world.
Yeah,
I think Cook would have done his formula sort of work in the county the Test. So I think it'd be quite interesting to sort of see whether there is a change in the English sort of mindset when it comes to Test cricket, or whether it does become a bit more inventive and attacking. I mean, it's interesting with Australia. I think you probably thought that Smith would have been like that, but he's actually a lot more conservative than what Clark was.
Is that right? Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not saying he's
Clark got quite creative, didn't he, at times?
Well, he's not like Dhoni putting 10 on the boundary, but I mean, but he is. Yeah, like Clark was very overly inventive, probably.
Cook came through under the Strauss-Flower axis, and that was very formulaic.
Stats-based.
I don't know about stats-based. It was pressure-based for me. It was the main objective in the field was to keep control and bowl maidens, and then their belief was that as the game evolved and batsmen were trying to play more shots, etc., then that would just automatically bring a mistake, and that worked. It worked pretty well. But I mean, I think it's kind of got a bit stale from time to time, even towards the end of Strauss and in parts with Cook.
That's particularly with declarations and things. Yeah. There's a lot of caution being under, and it's difficult when, depending on the bowling attack you've got, I suppose. But I think Root will probably just be that bit more aggressive. So sort of going back to what you were saying, he might be a bit more at least creative, a bit less conservative. Basically, I think that's.
I mean, is that more a guess than anything else? I mean, obviously, as you said, and you rightfully said that he hasn't had the chance, I guess, to lead the county.
Yeah, well,
but I mean, just a guess saying he's because of his background in playing the T20s.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, no one actually knows. I think he has shown flashes, like Ed said. I think when he has shown flashes when he's been on the pitch and Cook's been off the pitch, because he has been vice captain for a while. He just brings himself onto bowl and he does a few things here. But no, I mean, you can't really know because he just hasn't had much chance to prove it. You're just really going by the nature of his batting. I guess is a bit. It's just everything's very, very positive, and you would expect very. He's sort of full of confidence, isn't he? So maybe that'll shine through. If you've got a load of confidence in your bowlers, you declare early and etc. So, but it's kind of guesswork from everybody at the moment.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I guess as an extension of that is the fact that Stokes was appointed as his second hand, so to speak. Do we think that's a good support for it? I mean, obviously Stokes has got a history of being a bit of a loose cannon at times, but he's probably coming to be a leader. But I mean,
I don't know. Yeah, maybe at the very start. I mean, apparently they're really good mates, which I think is a good start. But Stokes is just one of those people who he doesn't really need a title. He's just going to do it anyway, and he's going to be a talisman for that team. So, yeah, I can't see any downside to that. Regardless of whether you gave him a title or not, Stokes is going to smash it when he bats. He can come in and bowl heavy ball bounce spells. He can reverse swing it. He's the best fielder, so you're not going to keep him out of the game. And he's just one of those people who leads naturally for me. So, yeah, I think it's if you look at the really nucleus of that team, the next few years, right in the middle of it, the engine room could be Root, Bairstow, Stokes, and Butler. And they're all of an age, they're all like sort of 26-ish kind of age, whatever. And those four, assuming Butler, and I'd like to see him back in the team, assuming he can come back in and play well like he did in India, that could be a fantastic engine room for that team to work around for the years to come. Yeah.
I think the only thing with Stokes as vice captain, I was reading a piece by Vic Marks today actually, who said he's a little bit worried potentially about having shackles on him, and to a point I agree. The only issue being that I don't think there's any other alternatives actually. You could give it to Bairstow maybe, or even Butler coming in, but I think Stokes is the only choice. But I think he's a great choice as long as he is only a vice captain. If Root was to get injured in the warm-up game in the Ashes, I don't think we'd really want to have him as the captain for the whole thing. It's almost a bit of a Flintoff scenario. Which
so who would you go for then?
Well, that's the problem. I don't know. I'd probably go for Bairstow, but it's not.
So what's the point of him being vice captain if you wouldn't put him in charge of a series if Root was injured?
Well, I think he's. I don't think that's necessarily the job that you're appointing him for necessarily. It's more of a lieutenant to sort of go to. I think he'd be a natural leader anyway, as Ed said. And I think I'm not sure about having a talisman as captain. Basically, I don't think they need it. I think they're better off just being the star man and doing the stuff that looks amazing and taking the wicket that's needed or smashing it around the park. I don't think.
Is this because of Ian Botham back in the day, or what's the?
I think.
And Flintoff.
Yeah, I'm Flintoff. Yeah, so I mean that's our two best probably, and Stokes is going to be our third best, or our next amazing all-rounder. So. Yeah, a little bit. I just think it's.
You learn from experience, don't you?
I just think it's a huge burden for a talisman to be. But having said that, I bet he's brilliant in the dressing room, and actually to have it as a vice captain, I think he'd be brilliant as a number two. But if Root was to get injured in the warm up, in before Brisbane or something, I'd be worried about making Stokes captain for the whole thing. That's all.
Yeah, no, I think he'll work well. I think the future of English Test cricket could be pretty good. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think it's the news of the day, really, isn't it? I mean, you guys know my impression of it. The Kiwis and the Aussies are taking over the leadership roles in England's two main sports, which is great. It's great to get another Kiwi in there in a leadership role. So I think that's news of the day over and above Joe Root, to be honest.
Right. Well, fair enough. So
what do we think are his main things he's got to sort?
Yeah. So I think I think first and foremost. That those top three spots, he might have. I mean, potentially, he might have walked into the team at a perfect time, actually, because I think you can't really talk about Keaton Jennings that much because he's had 2 Test matches. I think Seaver's only had 2 as well, hasn't he? But or maybe 3. But they both seem to sort of look the part. Keaton Jennings as well, by the way, he's been thrown a lot of leadership responsibilities, I think, at Durham or something. So he's really fancied as a future leader of some description, anyway. So potentially, if those two are in, then those top 3 slots it would be ideal, because then, obviously along with Ali Cook, because then Root can bat 4, which I think would help him no end in terms of his role and captaincy and the extra pressure and all that kind of thing. I think the bowlers are fairly set. I think we could do with Mark Wood back for the fast bouncy pitches down under, but otherwise, Woakes, Anderson and Broad have got a bit of time left, and they're all top class now. I think that there's one gap in there that, that you might want to mention, Ed, which is the spinning department, which clearly it still needs a bit of work.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 areas, I'm not as optimistic either about you as the batting. I know these guys, like you said, these guys have only had a couple of games each, and we've been here with Live and these sort of people before.
Yeah.
And we have to sort out these batting collapses.
Yeah, that's true.
With which Root's been a part as well in the recent, and sort of giving it away in the 60s. And I know it's not the worst problem to have, giving it away in the 60s and 70s, but
he has stopped scoring tons though, hasn't he?
Look, Cole got another double the other day.
Yeah.
He's got to step up. And he's got to start making 140s, 150s, those sort of totals. I'm not sure what to suggest about it. I've been part of many batting collapses, and when it kind of gets going, it's hard. I don't really know what suggestion is, other than what could you do? You could take them away on like some sort of like hard out boot camp or some, I don't know, something.
Just thinking outside the box.
I don't know what it is, but it happens and that's why we talked about Cook's record last week. That's why Cook's hardly drawn a game and won as many as he's, because it's so consistent, because we can be really, really, really good one week, and then it's just...
We have been amazingly inconsistent, haven't we? And I think some of it actually just comes down to experience. We're not the most experienced side, although we've got people like Majo and Root, I suppose, now is very experienced. But you couldn't ever have seen that England side when Strauss was there, with those slightly more dominant leading figures, ever really collapsing like that, really. Although that said, I think it's a bit of a thing the world over, really. I think there's just a lot of batting teams at the moment, and we can talk in the wider sense about T20 or whatever, but there's a lot of teams that once you're on a difficult pitch with bowlers bowling well, the batsmen don't seem to panic, because I don't think they've got the skills defensively to actually dig in. People just seem to collapse nowadays.
Well, they probably do, don't they? I mean, I think there's probably so many flat pitches around the world now. I mean, it's obviously a lot of groundsmen are probably instructed to make the flat pitches, so they can get the crowds in for ideally 4 days. I know we're probably getting a lot of 3-day tests these days anyway. But so when you get this experience like the Ashes over here last time, but day one was it Nottingham, wasn't it?
Yes, I remember that one. Yes.
Yeah, I was there. It was good.
Oh, you were there? Yeah,
it was a good watch. But
with your laptop, I seem to remember.
Sorry?
Didn't you go with your laptop? Were you working from home or something?
No.
Or was that,
I was there on a work trip, but that's...
it was a work trip.
That was surrounded by Englishmen. It was a wonderful experience.
Lovely.
But I think it happens a lot. It's happened to Australia so many times over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Some absolutely shocking collapses. I don't have the list in front of me, but I'm sure a number of the top ones in the last 50 years would have come in the last 5 to 10 years.
I agree, there's been some ugly ones from England in the last 12 months, really. And it's... I don't know what it is, but it's either a mental thing or a skill thing, or maybe a combination of both. But if England continue, the Ashes this year might be if that continues on both sides, then it's going to be a very interesting series, because both sides, depending on what day it is, might collapse.
Well, that's true. I think you find that probably the pitches will be flatter.
That's true.
And will be. Yeah. And there's no Mitchell Johnson this time. Well,
that's true.
Stark just fires up, but I don't think either side's going to have the type of bowl that could really rip through into.
Have I heard Mitchell Stark has stopped swinging it for some reason?
Yeah, I told you that. So it's a little bit true.
Yeah,
he has. I don't know. I think he had an injury a little while ago, and he's been. I read an interview with him where he's been trying to work on it, but just can't quite get it back.
Great news.
There's still 6 months to go.
It's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
What else then, Ed? Anything else you think Root should be looking at as captain?
Well, the two things. He's going to be a captain who's going to have to replace Anderson. That's going to be slightly longer, well, I guess not even longer, more medium term, I guess, thing, and that's going to be tricky.
It's 2 years max, really, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's so good. You could bring in Wokes or Wood or whatever, but yeah, that's going to be a tricky one. And the other thing we need to start now, along with the batting, the other second crucial thing is our spin bowling, because it's just not good enough as it is. We've got a batter who's our spin bowler, and
what are the options there for you though? Is it Rashid or something, or what's the?
No, well, Rashid's probably the most talented because he can spin it both. He offers even less control than Ali. So look, there's a reason why Rashid. I don't think he's ever played England. He didn't play against Pakistan last year because they know that he just doesn't offer anywhere near the sort of control they need. Otherwise, he would have played last summer in the summer against Pakistan.
Yeah, but does he take wickets though, doesn't he?
He takes tail enders wickets.
Yeah, but that's pretty important. They're pretty important.
It is. To win a game, it is. Yeah.
But if the game's got away from you by then, they're already 450 for 6. It's kind of pointless.
I think to play as your number one, as your only spinner, is a risk on a decent track because like it says, the game can just disappear if you've got no control. Then
yeah, but how bad is it? Are we talking like sort of one ball and over? It's a bit loose. Or are we talking like 2 or 3?
Good players can really get after him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he'll be a one-day white ball cricketer now, I would think, and maybe playing subcontinent things.
Really? How old is he? Rashid?
No, he just. I know it's a hard thing to all this. He just can't control it.
You don't think that you don't think
Cook couldn't even bowl him at points.
Yeah.
So if you're on an English pitch or you're an Australian pitch and you need one spinner, look, like I said, there's a reason why he's never played in England and why he didn't get picked in Pakistan for the Pakistan series or whatever. When everybody was saying last year, because I think they just know that he bowls it a bit slow. A, and B.
Yeah.
There's too many.
And you're probably right. I mean, at times you need a spin ball to hold at one end.
Yeah, we need
rotate the.
We need a plan like we had with Ashley Giles or what Paul Harris did South Africa a few years ago. That's all we need, because then you've got Wood, Stokes, Anderson, and Broad, and again we saw the problem in India with no control. That these fast bowlers then stop becoming an attacking entity, and they have to bowl long. Defensive controlling spells.
Yeah.
They tire. They become less effective, and that you can't even put a stat on that. You can just see it when you're watching the game.
Yeah.
That we've lost control of the game. Cook can go to his spinners, and then our bowlers have to bowl themselves into the ground, bowling a foot outside off stump against. So we just need, even if it's Liam Dawson bowled at 2.5 and over in that test he played. If it's him or Rayner.
And sorry?
Oh no, he didn't look good to me.
No.
Not very good, did he? I think he's a batter who bowls.
Yeah, he's more of a Bone Alley type, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd like to see like Australia's starting to like he's not necessarily the best, but him and Clark worked out that round the wicket strategy he had all to the right handers. He got leg slip in, and he bowled tall, he bowled overspin, it bounced, and that's all. Like we had Giles, we did Tendulkar eventually from the round. All we need is control. So whether it's Rayner or what's the lad, Leach from Somerset, or I wish Monty Pansel could if he could get back.
You've got to let Monty go. Desperate for him to come back.
No, okay, so I know that is problems. He is by far better than any other spinners in this country. He's only just 34, and he's been out playing in Australia, and they've taken him away with them as a consultant. So he can't be in that bad a frame of mind. So I don't know if he could get himself fit and playing and bowling all right. The one thing is he will do it at Test cricket for you, because.
Maybe.
He's been there,
Well, he's not going to be the type of character that you want. I mean, if he's only got a couple of years in him as well, I mean, it's an indictment a little bit on England cricket that they haven't been able to produce a quality spin bowler since Graham Swan, and even thinking about the Graham Swan era, that there was no succession planning in terms of getting a spinner in there. Was Penasol, well, they should have got him into some kind of mental asylum quite early on in his career then to kind of sort him out, because he's I'll leave it there.
He's had his few problems, but Yeah, I mean.
So who would you pick if we had a test match tomorrow? Then who would you be picking as our spinner? Test match in England, say with fast forward to June.
I'd pick Rayner.
You pick
He's
Rayner,
been
right.
consistent for a number of years now.
And you bat him 8 and
I
drop
think he's
Ali.
alright back, but I'm not bothered.
Well, wherever.
Yeah.
But you drop Mo and Ali, would you?
Yeah,
And keep Butler.
Oh yeah, I'd so. Yeah, I think the way Butler batted when he came against India, he's special Butler, and if we can just let him play, he'll come good. I think eventually. As in, we've got 4 fantastic bowlers because we're so lucky to have Stokes to balance the side. And we just need a 2.5 and over man. We need a plan. We need somebody you can set a field to, and don't worry about we might get a few extra runs at number 8 now and then. Well, great. But like I said, if you completely lost the plot in their first innings already, and your bowlers are tired out, your fast bowlers have bowled too many overs, then
you've got to be able to keep it tight.
Yes,
you
it's
just
a
have
completely
to.
false economy. Yeah, you overcomplicate things. Like just
Yeah.
pick specialists, pick somebody who can do a job, set field.
Yeah, and I think the thing about Ali's runs as well, whether he's batting at 8 or not, but it's the old adage that when he bats 8 he looks like a number 4 batsman, when he bats 4 he looks like a number 8 batsman. So it's just, he does look class when he bats 8, but then you put him at the top of the order and he plays so many silly shots, and if we're going to, I mean the other option is if Butler doesn't play, then of course you could put him at 5 and have him as a second spinner, but again he's got to get runs then, so I don't know if that's something that he'd do.
Yeah, you don't really need 2 spinners in route in England though, do you?
No, that's true. Right, okay, so we've covered that. I think there's some other news coming out of the England camp today actually as well, which is David Willey has not recovered from his shoulder injury that he sustained against India. I think he did that in the Calcutta match maybe, and he's to have surgery on that shoulder, so England have called up Stephen Finn to the one-day squad. This is the ODI series that starts in, I think they're flying out next Friday, a week on Friday, to the West Indies for just 3 ODI matches, as is the way with the current scheduling world. Stephen Finn coming back as a squad head, what do you make of that?
I kind of forgotten about Stephen Finn. I don't really know what's happened to him. I mean, I thought he was going to be a fantastic bowler for many years for England. I don't know what to say to you really. Was he in the one day? He was on the bench all the time, didn't he? In the one day series, wasn't he? I think. And
I'm not even sure he was.
I remember a few years ago I went to India. He bowled amazingly well in the one day series, but lightning fast. He's the only one who could get anything out of the pitches.
I think
He also
this
went to the Ashes in Australia where he had to get sent home in the end, didn't he?
unselectable.
Yeah.
Unselectable.
Yeah.
Did he ever recover from that moment? I'm sure he's played.
Well,
He did a little bit now and then.
He
but-
came back for the Ashes.
Last year he bowled brilliantly.
Yeah,
Birmingham.
That's right, yeah.
We were in Thailand.
he got 2 and 2, didn't he? And he bowled quite well, but
That's
then he sort of tailed off again, really, and he seems to have these periods where he looks amazing, because if he gets his tail up, he bowls at 90, and he's so tall. He's really difficult to play against, but I think that he's certainly not been able to develop almost mentally, I suppose, if you want to be. It sounds really harsh, but he's not been able to keep himself confident or bowl with his tail up or whatever it is to be a force over a long period of time, which is a real shame because he's a very talented bloke. But I was just really surprised to see him in the one-day squad. I think England's one-day squad has been exactly the same as it was for the India tour. They've tried to keep it as similar as they can, presumably all the way through to the Champions Trophy, but I was quite surprised the next cab off the rank on the fast bowling is Finn. But I guess if that injury keeps going to the Champions Trophy, maybe he would be a threat. I'm surprised Stuart Broad's not going actually, but
I think Broad should be.
the Champions Trophy,
in England, the next World Cup's in England.
Yeah. Is it just the last warm-up matches before the Champions Trophy?
They're playing
I know it's
3.
months away, but
They're playing the 3 in the West Indies, and the 2 Island games are at home actually. I think they're in Bristol and Lords. There's 2 games.
No, they're in Ireland, aren't they?
No, I think I checked today. I think they're here. Yeah.
Not sure if you're going to say against Ireland's really a solid warm-up though for
Well, it is. They usually beat us, actually. So
Yeah, but what does that say?
it's fine. It's a solid warm-up if you're losing. It's a hell of a test. So yeah, I think they've got those two, and then I don't know if there are some actual warm-up games before the trophy itself. I don't know. Maybe all teams are playing some warm-ups.
We hope so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You would think so, but I presume. I mean, nowadays everyone's really busy all the time, so I don't know if they've got time.
Yeah,
for
that's true. So when's this West Indies series or series?
I think they head out there a Friday week, so that it's happening in sort of
It's the 3rd, 5th, and 9th of March.
There you go.
Yeah, a couple of weeks away.
So yeah, God, that's a short shot.
Literally there for a
3
week.
games. Yeah, 3 games in a week.
I think they're all at. They're all in. Well, my dad's going. They're all in Antigua.
Right. So yeah, so I mean, it's purely one more thing. I think it was part because they went to the West Indies a couple of years ago, played just some Test matches, so it's almost finishing off that bilateral series, I think. But it seems a bit farcical. But then I suppose if it's part of the plan that England are focusing on white ball cricket before the Champions Trophy, then I suppose that's it.
Sure.
So that's that. So I think moving on, we'll go to Cheese now, who's the quizmaster this week. So he's got some sort of thing prepared for us. So we'll see how we go.
Well, just going on the same theme as the last couple of weeks, which I thought has been quite entertaining and also quite difficult. But being Valentine's Day, I thought it would be a good topic around partnerships.
Oh,
Very topical. I like
Sticking
that.
together for a period of time over 10 or 12 years and really fighting it out together out in the middle.
Right.
So the quiz is going to be, I've got a list of 10 partnerships of the highest scoring partnerships across a period of time. So not just one individual innings, but across a period of time batting together.
Like across a career?
Across a career or across a period of time. Okay. And the top 10. So what I want you guys to do is name one person. There's 16 of these players.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
And they've all been involved in great partnerships across their lifetime.
Right, okay.
So, does that make sense?
It's not really.
Are we saying
There's 10 partnerships, but there's 16 people.
There's 16 people in total that have been involved in these.
So just a single partnership and not kind of like a career?
Over a career, over a period of time. Okay, so I'm sure you can think of some great people that have been involved in good partnerships and some romantic ones at that, especially those Australians tapping each other's arse in the middle of the wicket, that type of thing. So I suppose I'll just start to my left, which is Joe, who's already jotting down some notes.
Yeah, I'll go with Sachin Tendulkar, I think.
You'd be correct in saying Sachin Tendulkar. He's been involved in 2 of those.
Sangakkara.
You'd be correct in saying Sangakkara.
Matthew Hayden.
That's right. He's been involved in 2.
Rahul Dravid.
Rahul Dravid. Yep, he's been involved in 2.
Jayawardene.
Jayawardene, the Sri Lankans, 6,150 runs at an average of 56.43.
Okay, Alistair Cook.
Yes, Marty.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be one of the ones you wouldn't get.
Therefore, I think I'm going to go Strauss then.
Strauss, yep.
Yeah.
VVS.
VVS, yes.
Yes.
He was involved with Rahul Dravid between 1996 to 2012, over a 16-year period.
Ponting.
Ricky Ponting and Matt Hayden, yep. You guys are flying along here.
Langer.
Justin Langer and Matt Hayden.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Yes, Sehwag's one as well. Yeah, he's in.
Good shout, that.
Now it gets tough.
Yeah. Graham Smith.
No. No, unfortunately. I think if I remember my stats rightly, he was just outside of it.
Was he?
He was. Him and Herschel Gibbs, I believe.
Yeah.
It's not Greenwich, is it? Gordon Greenwich?
Yes, Joe.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Gordon Greenwich.
So Desmond Haynes.
Desmond Haynes. Correct.
Let's try Bill Lawry.
So there is only 2 left, and Bill Lawry's not one of them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I think that's you gone, Matty.
So
Yeah.
it's 2 left. Problem is, if I get one, then you should get the other. What about Wally Hammond?
No, not Wally Hammond.
Lara?
No, not Lara.
So Marty's back now.
Eunice Cohen.
No, not Eunice Khan. So only two left, and they are a partnership together.
Gooch?
No,
Callis?
no. From
Good shout.
1997 to 2007.
1997.
I was very surprised to see these two.
Oh, it's going to be a couple of Kiwis, isn't it?
No. Don't play enough cricket.
1997.
2007.
Oh, I've got it.
Oh no, have you? Gilchrist.
No.
Jai Surya.
Jai is correct.
That's it. With who?
That's it. With Marvin Atapatu.
Really?
There you go.
Marvin
I
Atapatu.
guess.
I couldn't think who it would be, but I remember Jai Surya got some huge.
That was brilliant. Yeah,
he did.
they were pretty tough. I didn't think anyone was going to get Greenwich and Haynes.
Well,
That was a good start. That was a very good start, Joe.
that's a good game. Well played, lads. Good win.
Short and sharp wins it on the day.
Ah, good quiz, that mate.
Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there.
Yeah, enjoy your partnerships. Right, so we're going to move on. We're going to move to the Southern Hemisphere. There's a series starting on Friday. It's New Zealand, South Africa. Tell us a bit about it, Cheese.
Well, it's one 2020 game starting on this Friday night at Eden Park, moving on to 5 one-days over about a 10-day period and then into 3 test matches. So basically South Africa coming off the back of a victory over Sri Lanka, I think, in all formats.
Right.
And New Zealand coming off the back of a cracking victory over Australia. So both teams on winning form, but who knows? South Africa down under is always, South Africa anyway is always pretty difficult. But I think I mentioned last week in terms of the short form stuff, New Zealand's only lost 4 games out of the last 30 at home. So
yeah, it's incredible record. Really.
it really is. That really snuck up on me. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But I think that'll hold them in good stead for this series in particular. I think in the short form, but it'll be as it always is for us, and I suppose any team against South Africa. Actually, the Test match cricket is going to be pretty difficult. It's going to be pretty difficult to get wins against them. But I think
with South Africa in particular, they keep finding bowlers, don't they? And I know sort of Alex Scott and stuff. I don't know. Is Stain and Walker back for this?
No, but they've still got Philander and Rabada, and then Imran Tahir's coming back into form as well. So he was out of the picture for a while because of his. Well, he was just a little bit inconsistent, wasn't he? But he's bowling really well at the moment. So they're definitely coming over with a great team. And De Villiers is coming over for the short formats, not playing in the Test matches. He's also not playing against England. He's not coming over
He's
for.
not playing the Test. No.
But
so he's going
to retire from Tests?
No, because he's going to India at the end of the year.
Is he playing T20 or something? I mean, I appreciate the guy has to earn some cash, but I mean,
he's having a kid. But they're talking about. He's talking about probably. Well, disappointed. No, it's Valentine's Day. Let's not get into it. Right, come on.
Good point. You're on Valentine's Day, so it's not really
people for having kids on today. But I mean, so he's going to New Zealand and just not. But he's playing the one days and not the Test.
Just for the one day cricket. And I was speaking to a mate today from South Africa, and he's bitterly disappointed that he's not coming to England in particular for a Test series against England. He's foregoing that. But then apparently going over to India to play in a Test series over there.
It's just the precedent that sets. The fact that he's making the effort to go to New Zealand for 5 one days, is it?
Yeah,
and a T20.
And a T20, yeah.
And then not playing 3 Test matches
It's interesting. I mean, why would he do that? Is that because of is he coming over for the Champions Trophy? Or
presumably.
Yeah. So it's just obviously to get some white ball experience. So when's their series in India? Are they following the Australian series?
I mean, at the same time as the England series, so that was December through January? Pretty much.
Yeah.
December through January in India, so...
Yeah,
and then the
tests were, November, December.
Yeah.
And then, January, February for the one days.
Yeah. It's a shame not to see him playing against, like him versus Joe Root. You want the best players in each team playing, isn't it? But for this series in particular, anyway, I mean, putting him aside, these blokes are they're tearing it up. Duplessis scored 184 offense for nothing last week, and I think that's about the third he scored in about a month.
I mean, it'd be a lot tougher for them coming over to play New Zealand in New Zealand.
Definitely.
Compared to playing Sri Lanka over in South Africa. I mean, the pitches don't suit Sri Lanka at all over there.
True.
I mean, imagine them getting their heads knocked off all the time.
Yeah, very true, very true. But the weather's turning in New Zealand as well, so I think we'll be producing some pretty good wickets. I mean, but then having said that, the first Test match down in University Oval, I mean, what do you do? Do you produce wickets for your bowlers, or do you produce wickets for their bowlers? You're probably better off just producing a flat track and hoping that your big guns will score runs, eh?
Kind of, yeah. It is difficult because it's like how you can't be that confident about being in South Africa, but I mean it's it's very tricky when you've got bowlers who are very good in New Zealand conditions, in home conditions, but they've got people like Rabada who are awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you just sort of bank on scoring bigger runs than their big runs? Without the abilities.
What would McCullum say? Well, I don't care what they've got. We'll back Alton South.
Yep.
It's a mindset, isn't it?
Yeah, very true. Very true. And they're very much a confidence team, so if you can get on a roll early doors, if you win... I mean, the University Oval for that first Test match in particular, I know it's a few weeks away, that's in Dunedin. So it's well down south. Even though the weather's warm, it'll still be... That pitch is always a little bit juicy. If you win the toss and bowl first and get a little bit of momentum, you never know. Yeah. You never know. But I think we've got a really good shout in these one days and 2020s. And talking about preparation, as you were before about England and Australia's preparation or whatnot for the Champions Trophy, we couldn't ask for a better preparation, really. Playing in similar conditions to England against one of the top teams in the world, it's great, really great preparation. So, hopefully that's good. But I think in terms of our team, I think we've dropped Colin Munro from the one day team because Luke Ronke's back. And they're talking about batting Jimmy Neesham higher up the order at sort of...
How old's Luke Ronke now? He must be...
Well, he's about 32, 33. He's pretty...
Nah, he must be older than that.
Is he?
We're thinking of the same person. The keeper guy.
The Ronke Donkey. Yeah. There's only one Ronke Donkey.
He must be older than 30.
No, I don't think so. I mean, Marty, you'd probably know he's Australian, actually. We've stolen him from you. Have you got any idea?
No, I really don't.
No. right.
Yeah.
I'm going to Google him, geez.
Yeah. Did I see Guptill's still out? Is that the...
No, Guptill's back in the one-day squad.
Is he?
Yeah, back in the one-day squad. Whether or not that means he's playing, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I thought it's right. He might be injured the first few.
Okay.
He's just about pretty big loss. 6.
Oh, really? Okay, well, yeah, right. I mean, still, I suppose it's a bit like your predicament with the spin bowler. We don't really have anyone to take over him confidently. I mean, Tom Latham did a job against Australia, but we need, Ronke at the moment. As much for his leadership as anything, actually, because, with Kane Williamson still trying to find his feet, I suppose, we need all that leadership that we can get. So, but I'm surprised that they're giving... I mean, Colin Munro didn't do enough, and didn't do enough consistently to hold on to his position, but, I mean, Neesham hasn't really either. He's definitely a lot more talented, but that's putting a lot of pressure on him to do well. And I actually see Corey Anderson's back in the squad as well, so that fight could start again between those two. And I mean, Corey Anderson, we've missed him so much.
He can. I mean, he can just play those innings that wins you the game, can't he?
Yeah, he's quality.
Okay. Yeah. So what's the prediction then?
I have no idea about the 2020 game on Friday night. No. I mean, who would know? But. I think that we'll take the...
Well, we'll get onto that in a minute, actually. We're about to talk about the PSL, but...
PSL? Jeez. Well, okay, right.
Some people know the results there.
That's very true. One day series will be 3-1 to New Zealand. There'll be a washout, as there always is.
Fine. Good stuff.
Test matches are a few weeks away, so we can...
Yeah, we'll analyse that closer to the time. Yeah.
I think it's before we sort of move away from down under... Should probably just pay tribute to a great man who retired.
Is this the second best ever Test batsman?
The second best Test batsman of all time. With an average, I think it was 61.5.
61.3 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that, Joe. I missed that point too. But look, I mean, we can laugh about it, but at the end of the day, he's still got the stats.
We ruined him over here.
Yeah, that was one series, but I mean,
that was the only really
And then
proper challenge he had.
he came down to New Zealand and ruined us. He scored like
he got a good century in the
250
Wacker, I think, against South Africa. I think a double century as well against them.
Early
double
on in his
century
career,
over at
though?
Wellington, I think, as well. So I mean, he's
He did. That Wellington one was a shame.
he
But
fell away at
he's,
the end. But at that point there, he had an average of about 90. Yes.
What do you mean he fell away at the end? He was only playing for a year and a half.
He fell away at the end. He did fall away. He got
Yeah, but in a very short period. It's not like he started at 20 and finished at 38.
Look, at the end of the day, he can still look back in 20 years' time and have a look at his record, and it's going to stack up pretty
Well, unfortunately, he'll probably still be number 2, which is really depressing. But but you're right, we should pay tribute to. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
cheers, Adam Voges.
To a good professional, I guess what you meant to say there, Joe.
That is true. He's been a good servant.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you started your international career at 35, which is, well, at least your international test career at 35, it's pretty amazing anyway.
That is quite something, isn't it?
Good on him.
Half fell, boys, half fell.
Moving on. So there is some other news that we should at least touch upon. I know we almost joked about this, I think, a few weeks ago on one of the pods, but unfortunately it's happened that the Pakistan Super League, which has, I think, not just been going for the last week or so, I haven't been following it amazingly, to be honest, but there are 2 players, Shahjil Khan and Khalid Latif, who both of who I think opened the batting against England last year together. So I mean, they're top players. They have both been suspended from the competition, and there has been an arrest. There's also been 2 arrests made apparently today in London, together with within the same investigation. And the PCB have said this is to do with an ongoing investigation into an international syndicate, which is believed to be attempting to corrupt the PSL. So whether they've actually attempted or succeeded to corrupt the PSL, no one's actually quite sure yet. I'm sure
They probably set it up. It wouldn't surprise me.
What, the league?
Yeah.
There's
The shenanigans that are going on behind the scenes that we don't know about will be disgraceful. I mean,
it is frightening.
These people, they'll be donors to the franchises. They'll be all in with the players. I mean, it's just ripe for.
Well, it's right, and it's based in Dubai, which hasn't exactly always had a clean bill of health when it comes to sort of where money's coming from and going and that sort of thing. Anyway, I know it's cleaned up as that in the last few years, but was this ever going to go any other way? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
blood diamonds.
Was this? I mean, it's obviously a terrible thing to happen to a competition that people were almost expecting to happen to.
Almost expecting. I think it was almost like expected, and I don't think I've ever said any news, read any news with less surprise. That's sort of quite disturbing that was going to happen. I mean, that's sad.
It's really sad, and I mean, it's attracted some big names. There's a lot of top players over there. I know. Certainly the English boys are all seem to be out there, don't they? I think Sam Billings is out there and he's playing with the same team as Steve.
Which in a way you've got to question slightly. I mean, given the likelihood of something like this happen, the fact that you could be sort of inadvertently dragged into a situation like this where some of your teammates maybe...
Yeah, I think
it's risk your career.
I think the thing is, from a player's point of view, surely, I don't know what the numbers are like in the PCL compared to the IPL. PSL, sorry. But presumably they're not as much, but they're still probably pretty lucrative place to go and play cricket. Why would you get involved in this? Anyway,
is it lucrative? I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be like the IPL.
A lot of the top players are going. So must be getting
well, it depends if you fix or not. That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, it'll be lucrative if you fix it.
Well, a lot of the top players are there though, so I don't think they'd be going for cheap.
Who knows? It would have been. It's difficult. I mean, and Brendan McCullum's over there as well. He's not going to go over. He's not going to.
They'll have big paychecks.
They'll be getting paid very well, I would have thought. But then whether that might bring the problem that maybe these 2 weren't being paid that much.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're Pakistanis, and I don't know if there's a huge difference between. The Pakistanis who obviously make up the majority of the playing staff roster on every side to the kind of the foreigners who are there's less of them, so they're more likely to be sort of stars.
You would
big
expect
money.
so. I mean, I imagine any competition like that to attract the foreign talent would have to pay them
Yeah.
a much higher salary.
Yeah.
Although it is
Which
just
mean the local players would get paid less. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
although it is just a few weeks in Dubai, so you wouldn't have to get paid that much, would you?
We say big paychecks, but even if you're going over there for a couple of weeks,
Yeah, not much tax being paid.
yeah,
The,
that's right.
the thankful thing about it, I reckon, anyway, is, and like it was with the Pakistan fellas a few years back, the arrests have been made in England, so you know that something's going to happen, which is good. Whereas if the arrests are made somewhere else, you never know. The English are going to be able to pull in a little bit more information than potentially these guys getting arrested elsewhere. So hopefully they can, and hopefully they can make it stick this time.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed.
If it's true or not, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Hey, it's
absolutely.
speculation.
There was some other news.
Innocent until proven guilty, is that what they say?
Yeah.
There's also the thing about smoke and fire, so
Yeah.
which way you want to look at it.
There's also another piece of news out of the PSL is that I believe that they were meant to try and play the final in Lahore, although there was a bomb that went off in Lahore yesterday, so I imagine that's going to be called off now, and there's obviously a massive question mark over where the foreign stars would actually want to play, for the two finalists, whether they'd actually want to go to Lahore anyway. I imagine now they won't, but I believe they had this farcical situation whereby they originally were going to ask, in advance of the finalists being worked out, if the foreign stars would want to go to Lahore for the final, and if not, who of the other foreign stars involved in the tournament would possibly go to the final on a one-off basis. Yeah, just for the final. Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it?
Just don't do it.
Well, exactly. So now, I think the chairman of the PCB has now said, instead we're going to almost put it to a public vote and ask if what are the Pakistan public want? Would they rather a final in Lahore with no foreign stars, or would they want the final in Dubai with foreign stars?
I imagine in Lahore. I mean, surely. I mean, the people over there haven't seen cricket in years.
Yeah, I think actually without the foreign stars, the problem is, of course, you might have one team who's relied so heavily on the foreign stars that aren't then there, then suddenly they become a rubbish team. But I think in terms of having a massive game there, it'd be brilliant for them to actually do it, and hopefully with no issues, with no security problems or anything, would be great for the game over there, because it desperately needs it, surely.
Oh, no, I can imagine that, but I also can't imagine too many of the foreign players being really keen to go there.
I think after the bomb went off yesterday, none of them were
Well,
going.
yeah, I mean, lots of the history there with the
There's easier ways of easing back into cricket than having all these high-profile stars coming in on for a final, isn't there? Surely.
Yeah.
But have the crowds in Dubai been any good, or in the UAE?
No.
Terrible.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but that said, there's 200 million people in Pakistan. There's something like 140 million want to watch the PSL on TV.
Well, yeah, it's a thing. So, I mean, imagine their TV viewing.
If the TV viewing figures are there, then I think the money's there, and that's I guess all that's needed to put on it. Ridiculously, there could be hundreds of million people watching games where there's 3,000 people in the ground.
Yeah.
It seems bizarre, doesn't it? But
I was at that Dubai ground a few weeks back, and Scotland were playing. I mean, of course, no one's going to be there. There was me, one other, and about two others watching this game.
Yeah.
Scotland versus Ireland. Jeez, it was not a very nice place to be. Like when there wasn't a crowd there, it was. You can imagine it being extremely hollow and boring.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's we'll see how that one unfolds over the next week or so. In some other news as well, we just found out in the last couple of days that the new rules have been sort of made, I think, by the ICC, apparently there are some new rules where there's been some real issues with abuse on the field coming into play in the last couple of years. The new rules now state that this is at the umpire's discretion, that if it's a level 1 issue, then you get a warning. If it's level 2, you get a 5-run penalty. And if it's level 3, you get sent off the field for a while. And level 4, you can actually get sent off the field altogether. We're hoping this isn't going to be an issue in county cricket or international cricket. But we know that there's been some major issues over the past few years with abuse on the field. Is this something that's going to help that, do we think? The umpires actually being able to are they going to be strong enough to be able to send a player from the field?
No. Absolutely not.
You mean in club cricket or professional cricket?
Well, club cricket.
It's not an issue in professional cricket, really. Is it?
No, I don't think it's. We hope it won't get used in first class cricket and above.
You're going to need to have it bought into by teams. The umpire's not going to be able to stand there in a team that he's just given, or he or she's just given a dreadful decision for.
Yeah.
And this guy's abused them, and they're going, "You got to get off the field." And the rest of the team will be like, "Come on, mate, what are you talking about? That was you should get off the field. That was dreadful call."
Yeah.
It's just hopefully it does stick, but
That has to, otherwise, then we're acting like a load of footballers.
absolutely, yeah.
I was
Well, will it though?
Well, I hope so.
Will people leave the field if they're told to? If they're that angry with an umpire who's made a bad call?
When our rugby game got called off the other week due to frozen pitch, we did a bit of fitness. There was a football game going on down at OP's, and the abuse was so bad. The ref
Really?
had enough and blew up early and said, "Right, I'm just going in my car now. I don't turn up on a Saturday to play this." And both sides kept on and on at this guy. It obviously in the middle of Surrey. It's not particularly.
It's one of the poshest football clubs, I imagine.
It didn't look like a good stand or anything, but yeah. So any steps that cricket can go down to distinguish itself from that just disgraceful level of behaviour is, implement them and do them, and be strong, and if they're the rules, then apply them strictly, yeah.
What happens if you get off the field and you throw a fridge and then abuse the umpires? Does that fall under legislation, or is it separate?
What makes you say
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Is that a story for another day?
I would have thought.
Fine, well, we'll finish today with one other piece of news. Who this week has heard of a guy called Mohit Alawat? Anybody?
Should we have?
Well,
No.
he was in the news. The story you might recognise. He became very famous in India this week for hitting the first
300.
triple
right.
century
in a 2020.
in a 2020 match. Yeah. It was quite extraordinary. He hit it off 72 deliveries
Yeah, I heard that.
Wow.
with 39 sixes.
Yeah. I read something about the fact at the start of the innings that he thought that he took it quite sort of easy at the start to get his
Really?
on the first couple of balls.
He also needed 34 off the last over to get to 300 and 30 off the last 5 to get to 300 and got through. Absolutely unbelievable.
Brilliant.
And apparently he's been given a trial now by the Delhi Daredevils, which is quite amazing for the IPL coming up. He's actually played first class cricket before, so so he is actually. It must have been a decent standard.
Yeah.
But it must have been a small pitch.
Imagine that.
I mean, 39 sixes. It's half his balls for 6.
That's pretty impressive, eh? Wow.
Quite amazing. Anyway, we'll keep our eye on that and any other stories coming up. We would also like to get everyone else's thoughts on everything that we've discussed tonight. You can find us on Twitter at CricketPod is the place to get in touch with us there. We're also on Facebook and Instagram and the SoundCloud and iTunes. Please subscribe to us there and you'll get this podcast and every other sent directly to your phone or tablet. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.